guess I'd like to open up just by saying thank you to the ancestors. This is a very intriguing moment in the world, and I'm very grateful to have breath in my body, to have spunk in my step, to have my health. And I send love and blessings to everyone around the world that is feeling in need today, that might not be feeling the best in their bodies. Um, I send the love and peace and lots of joy. I'd like to open up actually to honor Dr. Barbara Ann Teer. I am very honored to be a student of the spirit of Dr. Barbara Ann Teer. And one thing she always spoke about was wanting to blow her mind with Blackness. And that is how I want to enter this conversation. For my segment, I want to blow all of our minds with the wonderfulness that is Blackness. A scholar, amazing artist, also our ancestor, Tony K. Bambara, said, "A people entrapped in another people's fiction is an endangered people." Another one of our ancestors, Brother James Baldwin, said, "The purpose of art is to lay bare the questions that have been hidden by the answers." And another one of our elders, our sisters, Bell Hooks, says, "Healing takes place within as we speak the truth of our lives." And finally, another one of our ancestors that reminded us that we do not have to use the master's tools to construct our house. Audre Lorde says, "And when we speak, we are afraid our words will not be heard nor welcomed. But when we are silent, we are still afraid. So it is better to speak, remembering we were never meant to survive." And I wanted to spend just my tiny portion of speaking about this journey from survival to thriving. When Michelle brought this topic to me, I'm a person that's always thinking about the future. My students and I at Spelman College 2 years ago devised a piece called Black 3000, where we as young Black folk imagined ourselves. We dared to imagine ourselves in the world of the year 3000. I would ask all of you today to just take 30 seconds to think about, what will your family look like? What will your lineage look like? What will the world look like in the year 3000? Just give you like 30 seconds to think about that. We wanted to do this because I'm a fantastic resident of the South. We are in a very difficult time right now. I'm from the red clay dirt state of Alabama, from Montgomery, Alabama, a space of a lot of liberation. I'm currently living and gratefully living in Atlanta, Georgia, where we are in a state of crisis as police, as in other cities, are killing young Black folk. So this audacity to dare to see ourselves beyond this very moment is a revolutionary act. To me, it's a point beyond surviving, and it's a thought of thriving. I think about art. I think about the reasons why we make. For me as an educator, I walk in a room and I know that that classroom is my canvas. It is a space where me and my students can devise the world that we want to live in. I refuse at times the world I see in front of my eyes. It is something about the programming and reprogramming and reprogramming of art that it allows us to see something beyond what our current eyes can see. I guess I would like to press upon educators that are listening today. How well do you listen to the students that come in your room? How do you decenter yourself from being the center of knowledge to understanding that we as educators, as Tony K. Bambara would stand at the side of the classroom, we are also participants in this narrative that we are making about teaching and about student. My dreams of the future revises the past. My dreams of the future reanimates the present moment. To me, the future is the past, present, and the future in one. It is the current moment of now. Right now, we as educators have the opportunity to create non-hierarchicized classrooms, meaning that we are participants in learning process and our students are also leaders in the thought process. I envision for ourselves as our sister former to me just came in, Nicole, an anti-racist curriculum that we actually can look to artists like Lloyd Richards, who innovated at Yale, at the Eugene O'Neill Center for over 31 years. When I think about the past of Yale and the present of Yale, I don't really consider Yale as a white majority institution, a PWI. Because of Lloyd Richards, Caribbean man from Canada and Detroit, I think about Yale as a space of innovation, as a Black art space led by a Caribbean man. I'm thinking in this future space, we also have to revise some of our past spaces. How do we get to the point where we as artists, where we as educators can see ourselves beyond the points of how we have been oppressed? Not to take away the points of trauma that have come on our bodies, but for us to imagine ourselves through and beyond that oppression so that we can envision ourselves and the lineages of us beyond the point of oppression in this concept of a Black 3000. I see no oppression. Our sister Angela Davis did a talk a few years ago in Atlanta, and she pressed educators to think, in the future space, do you ever see oppression not existing? It was a huge question. She said, do you ever see oppression not existing? And out of that auditorium of educators, they said, we don't see that. We cannot envision a world of no oppression. And she pressed us and said, if a group of educators cannot see a world without oppression, why are you educating young people? How are young folks ever going to believe themselves out of the roles that majority culture has put them in? And I press upon us today to think about how we can break down our learning of theater to apply it to these current terms. Who are the roles? Who are the characters? What are we wearing? What do we have on? Who controls the light? Where is the light coming from? What is its origin? Where is the set? Where are we? I'm running a cultural arts space here in Atlanta called SoulCenter. Visit us at our website. If you could put that up for me, Mike, is www.soulc.org. And this is a space of theory and practice where we take the learnings of theater and art and producing for artists of color. So we are training artists of color to be this next generation of innovative makers. Today, actually, we just published a fantastic series that's honoring the legacy of one of our master teachers, Dr. Barbara Ann Tier. And I would encourage you to go look at that site, look at some of the pieces that are curated on that site. And it has been a blessing to be in this space. I wish you all well. Thank you so much.